Welcome back into ARC Seattle, everyone. Let's dive right into the deep end. A judge set bail at $100,000 for one of the self-proclaimed Kia boys.
We're talking about 18-year-old Saylen Kelly, who's accused of stealing at least 13 cars, and police say it's part of a wider trend linked to violent crimes all around Seattle. Jeremy Harris joins us from the ARC Lounge this morning. Jeremy, let's start from the beginning of this. This all began with a social media challenge. How did the Kia boys get started?
Yeah, so the Kia boys, very interesting thing we've covered heavily over the last several months. This actually started in Wisconsin, in Milwaukee, about a year or two ago on TikTok, when there were videos that started surfacing that would teach people how to quickly and easily steal certain models of Hyundais and Kias. Basically, all you have to do is break open the steering column, then use like a USB cord or a screwdriver. You can start that car. That has gone viral, and it has led to a huge issue with Hyundais and Kias being stolen around the country. We saw this really starting to pop up here in Washington last year, as we've covered extensively. We've seen stolen Hyundais and Kias being used to ram into stores. A lot of the pot shop burglaries that we talk about involve these stolen Hyundais and Kias. So that's kind of where the trend came from. But now where we are today is police are starting to catch up with a lot of these teenagers, and oftentimes people who are over the age of 18, as we've seen in this case with Saylen Kelly, that he's over 18. He's part of this self-proclaimed Kia boys trend, and now he's facing some very serious charges in court.
Nationwide problem. But talk more about that. What happened in court yesterday? How did police track down Kelly? And we know he's not the only one, so have there been any other Kia boys arrests?
Yeah, so police have been able to catch up with some of these. Kelly was arrested earlier this month. He was in court yesterday. According to the charging documents that we read on him, they're really interesting because it was not like he was stealing these cars and trying to hide it. According to police, they say he would steal them. He'd post videos of it on his Snapchat, on his Instagram. He was basically bragging about it. And in the Kelly case, it went even farther. He's accused of offering to steal Hyundais and Kias for other people who want to get their hands on a stolen car. Now, this is at least the third Kia boy who's been arrested here in the Seattle area over the last month. There were two other cases out of Bellevue, and it's really important to note this is not just stolen cars. This goes broader than that. According to the Bellevue police, when they arrested the two Kia boys, they were linked to a violent robbery spree that included a gas station clerk who was bashed over the head. There were guns involved. This was a very violent crime spree that these two were connected to. And so that's the big concern here from police is, yes, the stolen Kias and Hyundais are bad, but it's also often just a tool for them to then commit other violent crimes.
Allegations are so disturbing with this, Jeremy. You mentioned the two automakers, Kia and Hyundai. I understand the city of Seattle is suing them. Why is that happening, and what do they hope to get out of it?
Well, the city of Seattle says, listen, Kia and Hyundai is to blame because their cars are so easy to steal that you have 14-year-olds who can break into one of these Hyundais and steal it within less than a minute. And then we're obviously seeing them being used in other crimes. And so the city of Seattle says Kia and Hyundai, the car maker, is responsible for a lot of the crimes that we've seen happen here. That's why the city filed suit. From Hyundai and Kia's perspective, they say, listen, you know, there's certain model year ranges where it is easier to steal. They've been trying to come up with some sort of fix for it. Local police departments, we know, have been handing out these steering wheel lock devices to try and prevent these thefts from happening, even if they were to get into the steering column, to try and keep them from driving off. But yeah, Seattle and a lot of other cities around the country have sued Kia and Hyundai, and they want to get financial compensation, saying their cities have had to deal with a spike in crime because of how easy certain models of these cars are to steal.
And as we've reported over the past several months, I know you've been involved in that reporting too, Jeremy, is these Kias and Hyundais have been involved in so many of these so-called crash and grab burglaries that have not obviously just impacted Seattle, but so many other communities across Western Washington. It seems like one happens every other day.
Well, and that's right. And I feel probably like the other viewers. Every morning I wake up and I see Steve and Tyra, and it's almost like I'm expecting to see another pot shop smash and grab with a Hyundai through the front door in that wild surveillance video.
Yeah.
It's almost like we become accustomed to seeing that on the news, but it's really important. This was not happening a few years ago. It may happen every once in a while. It is now almost a daily thing somewhere in Western Washington that one of these Hyundais or Kias goes through the front door of a business and causes major damage. So that's part of this trend, and it's costing those small business owners, and it's also costing consumers. You may say, why is my car insurance going up so much? It's because of this. It's because so many cars are being stolen, and it is so expensive for those insurance companies to keep up with the pace of all of the cars that are being stolen and then damaged.
It is so complex. Thank you so much for breaking all that down for us, Jeremy. Here's a look at what our viewers are saying about this on social media. Willow wrote, if my kid was a criminal, I would be so ashamed. Did his parents know that he was stealing cars? And Matt writes, the better question is, what measures have city leaders taken to prosecute criminals? There's so many layers to this, and really it's just mind-boggling to me is that this started in Wisconsin, like Jeremy said, and social media. 18, you're an adult now at this point, but you think about who's on social media. It's people between the ages of 13 and 21, really, and they're all trying to keep up with these trends, and I have to think that the social media companies are also to blame for this too. One of the viewers calls out the parents of these teenagers or young adults. Where are the parents? It's sad to see how innocent people are being impacted by this. I didn't even think about the car insurance thing until Jeremy brought that up.
And that has an impact on it too. So it not just, it doesn't just impact the business owners or the owners of those stolen cars. It can impact a wide variety of people just because of the financial ramifications of what's actually happening here. And I sort of was struck by something that he said, saying that that some people think it's the automakers that are to blame here.
There's that too.
One would say it's the suspect that is involved in stealing the cars. Depending on the person's age, it might be the parents, and as you pointed out too, it's like, where are the parents in some of these cases when you're talking about one specific case of one person accused of stealing at least 13 vehicles that potentially could be involved in other crimes. And that's just one case.
Right.
We know that there's more out there, and there's several people that are involved in this so-called Kia Boys name and scheme and that sort of thing, but it is disturbing and it impacts so many people.
And this Saylen Kelly $100,000 bail. The consequences are so high. It's a complex issue for sure.